All right, so these are six hard truths about retiring early and living abroad, in my case in Vietnam, that nobody told me or nobody tells you, and I wish I'd known a little bit earlier. You know what nobody tells you before you move abroad? That you're not escaping your life and yourself, you're just relocating it. All your bad habits, your self-doubt, your fears, they pack lighter than your luggage, they come along for the ride. When I first moved abroad, I thought I was chasing freedom. It turns out I was also dragging a suitcase full of unresolved shit, burnout, boredom, and the vague hope that somewhere else might fix me. Spoiler, it didn't. I still got a chip on my shoulder. But after a decade across Vietnam, Thailand, Mexico, China, Taiwan, Cambodia, here are six hard-won truths about this life abroad that I've learned. They're not in a travel brochure, but if you get them, hopefully from the horse's mouth, they'll help you. Number six, you'll always be a guest, forever. So you better get used to it. No matter how long you stay, you're not going to be a local. You might feel like one, you might speak the language, you might marry into the country, but you'll always be a guest there by invitation. That's not an insult. It's a kind of freedom if you accept it. When I used to hang out in Thailand and Bangkok, my Thai friends would just joke about being a farang. They're right. Even after years, I can't handle the heat, the food, the drink like a local. I am a farang, right? You can adapt, but you're never going to fully blend in. In Vietnam, I've lived long enough to know when the fish sauce is off, but I still get charged foreigner prices at the market. I still have to line up with foreigners at tourist events. Not because anyone's evil, just because I'm visibly different here. It's a reminder. You're in someone else's home, and you always will be. Even in Mexico, where I thought I blend in, dark hair, great Spanish, I still stood out. Locals called me güero, they called me gringo and flaco everywhere I went. It's humbling, it's reality, and that humility is the price of admission to live in the rest of the world. The sooner you accept that you'll always be the outsider, the freer you'll get mentally. You'll stop trying to fit in and start focusing on just being you and belonging. When I first moved to Saigon, I thought blending in meant learning every custom, every trick, every tone. I awkwardly bowed all the time, tried to order my coffee like a local, wore an ao dai for a group photo at work. My landlord literally laughed so hard she nearly choked on her cafe soda when I came home from work in a sweat-stained gold ao dai. You're not Vietnamese, she said, but you're trying. That's good. That's cute. People appreciate trying, but only if it's helpful. That was the turning point for me. I stopped pretending to belong and started learning to adapt or just be myself. And that's when the real challenge actually starts. Figuring out how to stay here or anywhere else long-term isn't the goal. It's about figuring out how to be yourself here. Because right when I thought I'd finally found home, after a couple of years of struggling to fit in, I realized my visa would expire in a month and I better be friendly with the HR office at my school to get the paperwork done on time. Next up, number 5, visas change, laws change. So do you. Everybody wants to plan their dream visa before they ever buy a plane ticket. They're asking about the different acronyms, the letters, the costs, the prices, the times. Because I've seen more people get paralyzed by the paperwork than the culture shock. And it's not the hardest part. When I first spent time in Hanoi, I spent weeks obsessing over visa renewals, arguing with people at work. Then I started hanging out with these Irish guys and just drinking. And they were always saying Evan, come off it, relax. You'll figure it out when you're on the ground. Just chill. And they're right, ultimately. There's no point in overthinking things before you act on your desires. The truth is, visas change constantly. Rules shift here and elsewhere. Governments rewrite midterm policies and flights. You can't control the bureaucracy, but you can control your ability to adapt and be flexible. In Thailand, my buddy who's lived there on back-to-back education for 5-year visas learned enough Thai to order dinner, but he could never dodge the immigration rules. In Cambodia, a friend who works on a business visa and has a cafe and is a tourist, you figure it out. In Vietnam, 30-day rule came down during COVID, all the teachers left, then some people got married, some people got creative, some just shrugged, took to doing border runs, or went home and came back when it blew over. The trick isn't to master the system, it's to master yourself inside the chaos by becoming flexible, pliant, and adaptable. Be a fucking ninja, dude. You can do it. You'll figure your visa shit out later. Figure out a life that actually works on the ground first. Community, purpose, income, then worry about the stamps. People who wait for perfect paperwork never leave their couch at home. People who go first, scout, learn, adjust later, build real lives abroad. I knew a guy in Bangkok, a British dude, mid-50s. He was always trying to live on a 5-year plan before he'd even landed. The day I met him, he'd printed out all these copies of visa regulations, blah, 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 his checklist, yada, yada. He had some color-coded system with like tabs in a journal. But by year 2, all that crap was gone and useless because the laws had changed and dude hadn't even seen real life. But he spent all his time in a hotel on a laptop anyways, living in an expat bubble, going to Nana Plaza at night. What's the point in planning and not living? I'd already been through the islands, done a little rock climbing at Railay Beach, and was heading up north to Bai and to see Chiang Mai and the Kicking Horse Crag and do a motorcycle trip up there for the first time. I was never thinking about my visas. That's just something you do along the way. If you just stop trying to optimize your life and actually experience the place, perfectionism will stop being a debilitating form of procrastination. God already made the earth perfect. You're overthinking it. Just chill, man. Live your life 6 days between Sunday. Number 4, where's right for you? Where are you right now? Overthinking where your landing spot is a waste of time. There's always a better beach. There's always a better bar. There's always a new date, a new profile or social media app to swipe right, up, sideways, or down on. There's always a new hotspot, a new Da Nang. Always somewhere cheaper, cooler, quieter. Hua Hin. One year everyone's screaming about Koh Samui. Next year it's Bali. Then it's Chiang Mai or Penang or some other island you can't pronounce or spell yet. It doesn't fucking matter. It never ends. The algorithm will always whisper, move to this next place, go here instead, check this out. If you chase trends, you're never going to find yourself. I've got a buddy who lives on one of those tiny Thai islands in the Philippines that I can't pronounce properly. We have to fly into Cebu. He's been there for 8 years, hangs out at a local dive shop, knows every coral and shipwreck by name. He doesn't care what's trending. His life fits him and it costs him like $500 a month. He moved there for 6 months and never left. 8 years later, dude does not count the days of the week or the different visa stuff. He just does what he does. Every season, someone new shows up, excited, ready to find themselves. 3 months later, they're gone. Too hot, too quiet, too poor, too expensive, too dirty, too cheap, too whatever. Shrug it off. Everyone's chasing a postcard or a dream. The paradise you dream about has weather, it has bills, it has mosquitoes the size of your thumbs. Which brings us to the next issue or topic. Tropical beauty can melt you faster than you think if you don't figure it out. You know what actually kills me? Half the people chasing the next undiscovered paradise haven't even figured out how to stay in one place long enough to unpack a bag. If that sounds like you, stop spinning your gears and your wheels. Figure it out, buy a ticket to Vietnam. If you want my help, you can get my Move to Vietnam Masterclass. It's gonna give you visa, banking, housing, dating, all the info I wish I had before I moved here. Frequently answered questions wrapped up in 60 minutes that are gonna get you your basic needs for your first 90 to 180 days on the ground. Hit the link in the description right now and you can start watching that before we get back to our list. So talking about another buddy, a teacher, a friend of mine who I met in Taipei, all night, drinks, revolver bar, telling me how he's hopping cities every 3 months, looking for the next off the beaten path island, the next secret hidden place. In 2 years in Asia, this guy is already looking burnt out, already feeling broke, already complaining about airports. You know, he puts back 10 Jagermeisters and Jamesons when he's blabbing about some beach. Meanwhile, we're in the middle of the city. The next best place, guys like him never build a home or life anywhere because they're always looking for a better place. Here's the truth. The right place isn't where everyone else is moving. It's the place that makes you feel like yourself again, that makes you feel chill. If that's a condo in Saigon, a studio in Oaxaca, a hammock in Koh Phangan, good, great. Chill the fuck out. Post up for a while when you find somewhere nice. Don't always be in a rush. Your spot is about stopping the scroll, starting to live. Call somewhere home for a while. Next up, number 3. Tropical heat can kill you, literally and figuratively. Canadians complain about winter non-stop, but nobody tells you tropical heat can break you just as fast. When I first arrived in Ho Chi Minh, I tried to live like I did in Toronto, jogging at noon, jeans at night, coffees at 3 p.m. in full sun. After a few months, I was dehydrated, delirious, questioning all my life choices. When I first was in Bangkok, I watched a new arrival literally just like faint in the BTS station. You have to respect the heat. This isn't just vacation weather, it's about literally surviving and being healthy. You need to adapt to the timelines, wake early, nap midday, respect the sun, dress loose, light, cheap, eat locals, salt and spice to keep your electrolytes balanced. In Taiwan, office workers hide in 7-Elevens because the aircon is free. Do the same. I've done it. In Cambodia, I'm showering 3 times a day when I'm around Siam Week. Once to wake up, once to wash off the dust. Hot weather is its own kind of teacher here. It slows you down, forces you to respect the rhythm and to appreciate the rains when they do come. And once you sync with that rhythm, morning coffee under a fan, late dinners in the breeze, you realize you're not going to be fighting the heat anymore. You're going to be living with it. In Saigon, I lived in a 5-floor walk-up for a while in Cholon, and it literally just felt like a sauna with furniture. I owned 1 fan, 2 shirts, and a fridge full of clean gold glass bottles of Saigon Special. Every time I moved, I swear I just downsized more. I dumped more and more stuff I didn't need. Then the monsoon weekend arrived when the whole city of Saigon was under a meter of swampy brown water. My suitcase got soaked. I opened it a day later when I was getting dressed for work and realized like mold had just eaten all of my clothes. I panicked, was like, what the hell am I going to do? The truth is, I didn't need any of it. There's a million Vietnamese tailors on Win Chai Street a block away. I could literally just walk out the door and get a new pair of tailored slacks in an hour if I actually needed them. And for the first time, I actually felt lighter. I didn't need to drag around all my old shit from home. That's when I learned a secret truth. Minimalism isn't a virtue, it's self-defense. All those old clothes were just dead weight I've been dragging halfway around the globe and I didn't actually need. Next up, number 2, stuff is not your friend when you're living abroad and traveling. When you move countries enough times, you realize every object owns a tiny piece of you and your life. I've lost count of how many times I've started over, how many times I've sold all my books. In my Mexico City apartment, fire sale. Beijing studio, gave it all away. No need. Last time we left Saigon, we left half the stuff behind. We gave it to family. We just put it up for free on Facebook. At first it hurts. Then it feels amazing. Every item you don't replace is just one less anchor dragging you down and weighing on you. You start actually valuing portability over your possessions. My friend who just moved here from Manila told me if you can't pack it in 30 minutes, it owns you, ditch it. He wasn't wrong. When you strip life down to a backpack and a laptop and the bare essentials, something will actually start clicking. You'll realize the best souvenirs are your memories and the best security is flexibility. Back in the day, I used to think I needed a perfect apartment, oven, couch, desk, blender, Western amenities. Then you experience a blackout and you realize you just need candles, a cold drink, and Wi-Fi. Minimalism isn't a lifestyle brand, it's just a survival skill that's necessary if you move enough. When your visa changes, your landlord sells, your plans fall apart, at least you can start over and not be stressed. Stuff can't move with you, but adaptability and flexibility can. When I was living in Guanajuato, a friend named Diego ran a small cafe by the river. He'd moved from Mexico City with nothing but a guitar and like a dream of starting this place. Overnight, after closing, he told me, I thought leaving would fix me, but it turns out he brought the same issues, the same city problems. We laughed about it, but there was pain under it, right? This dude was drinking too much, couldn't find himself, couldn't find peace. He was just moving his city problems to town. They turned into town problems. That stuck with me. Every time you strip life down, you face what's left, ultimately you. If you've never read a good memoir, check out Naked by David Sedaris. That'll give you a good belly laugh and learn about growing up. But that brings us to the last truth, the one most people never face before they board the airplane. Next up, number 1, if you haven't even left yet, you are the thing that's holding you back from your early retirement and new life abroad. Everyone says they want to move abroad someday. Everyone says they want to leave work and retire early. Someday, when the kids are grown, when this is paid off, when this is finished. Someday when the market's better. Someday when they've figured it all out. Someday when the timing is right. But here's the secret. The someday is never coming to save you. You are the thing standing between you and the life you actually want. Wherever you go, you'll bring yourself with you. Ultimately, what you have to figure out is you. When I first moved to Mexico, I thought I was escaping burnout and cost of living, but I was wrong. I was just moving my burnout to a warmer climate. In Vietnam, I met an older expat who'd been married 3 times. New girlfriend, new wife, every city, always starting over. He wasn't starting over. He was replaying the same bad sexpat story in a different area code. Your demons don't need a visa. They're going to ride shotgun with you no matter where you are. So you have to do the hard work before you leave. You got to face your loneliness, your need for control, your fear of failure. All that stuff's coming with you. Because the minute you're 8,000 miles from home with nobody to blame but yourself, those things are going to show up in full force effect. Trust me. But there's good news. That's when transformation starts. When it's just you, the noise of a foreign city, a foreign language, and the thoughts. Maybe I can actually rewrite my own story. That's why I tell people to stop obsessing over escape and start building endurance, adaptability, and flexibility now. Don't run away from your life, expand it. When I think about all the people I've met, the teachers in Hanoi, the bartenders in Bangkok, the digital nomads in Chiang Mai or Taipei, retired couples in Da Nang, surfers in Puerto Escondido, most of them weren't really running away. They were just trying to remember what it felt like to actually be alive and to have control over their time. Some found it, some didn't. But every single one of them learned something the hard way. Geography can't save you, but it can strip away everything that hides who you really and truly are. And once you see that clearly, that's when the world finally opens up to you, when you're going to be successful and you're actually going to retire early and live abroad and enjoy the extra time spent with yourself. So yeah, you'll always be a guest abroad. Visas will always change. The weather will always test you. Your stuff will always betray you. And your biggest obstacle will still be you, the man in the mirror. But if you can handle that, if you can lean into it and laugh when your scooter dies in monsoon rain, or if you can accept the tourist traps, if you can eat mystery noodles at 2 a.m., if you can find home in a place that doesn't look like where you came from, then congratulations, you're ready. You didn't just move abroad, you actually became a new person and you found yourself. I'm Evan A, and if this hit home, maybe it's time for you to pack up your life and move to Vietnam. I have a simple 60-minute class that helps you with visa, housing, banking, dating, all that stuff, the frequently asked questions you need to figure out once you get boots on the ground for your first 90 to 180 days. You can find that link below and watch that right now. Or you can watch this video on how I would start over with 10K in Vietnam, or this video on some of my favorite places to retire and live cheap across Southeast Asia. Thanks so much.